Welcome back to our channel, where we share updates and untold stories about Catherine, Princess of Wales, and her royal family. Today, we bring you some news. Prince Louis left, a royal bombshell against Queen Camilla's bad words amid his 7th birthday. Subtle birthday slight emanates from Buckingham Palace as Prince Louis celebrates his 7th birthday, omitting an invitation to Camilla, the Queen consort. Camilla allegedly had a severe response to Prince Louis after his disclosure of her actions against him. Prince Louis of Wales had his 7th birthday on April 23, 2025. This era seemed to have elapsed swiftly, since royal spectators distinctly recall the infant with fine hair held in his mother's embrace on the Lindo Wing steps. The Prince and Princess of Wales have released a new portrait of their youngest child, Louis, to honor this significant anniversary. In the shot, Louis, possessing gapped teeth and sun-kissed skin from springtime activities, has an enormous grin that might engulf the camera. Upon first observation, the painting radiates a fundamental pleasure, emblematic of William and Catherine's endeavor to nurture their children in a way as conventional as possible for a future king and his siblings. On the other hand, despite his flawless smile, a whisper of dissent has permeated the royal halls. The tabloid media started spreading allegations immediately after Kensington Palace published the photos on their social media platforms. These accounts indicate that Louis did not extend an invitation to Queen Camilla, the official step-grandmother of the Wales children, for his special birthday party. The courtiers exhibited no response, as is normal. Unnamed aides said that difficult phone conversations occurred, during which a young prince allegedly declared the Queen to be "not my grandmother." When faced with their son's obstinate stance, the parents opted not to continue the discussion. The hashtag #Louis birthday drama was trending on X and TikTok by the time noon arrived the next day. This episode served as ideal fodder for critics who revel in every bit of tension emanating from the most examined residents in the United Kingdom. Does a step-grandmother express affection, or does she maintain a courteous detachment? In public, Camilla has always shown a kind demeanor toward her husband's grandchildren. Her admiration for Louis's mischievous sense of humor is evident, as she once described him as quite a handful on a casual outing that delighted several onlookers. During the Platinum Jubilee celebration of the late Queen Elizabeth II, the future King of England was seen playfully bouncing a laughing Louis on his knee. Camilla, observing with affection, grinned as widely as the throng brandishing their Union Jacks in the mall. These vivid images conveyed the notion of a harmonious family, a cohesive entity unburdened by the shadows of the past. On the other hand, private correspondence has consistently severely limited Camilla's role. Sources familiar with the palace indicate that William explicitly stated early on his regard for his father's marriage. Yet he asserted that his children would have just one surviving grandmother, namely Carol Middleton, Catherine's mother. They assert that Camilla embraced the arrangement with a pragmatic perspective. She cherishes her 5 biological grandkids and has never demanded an equal share of the affections of the Wales children. Nonetheless, love does not eradicate longing, and friends recognize that the Queen would have relished the opportunity to occupy a place at Louis's celebratory table, even if just to see him extinguish his candles and bestow a gentle kiss on his cheek before returning to her own demanding agenda. The guest list for the birthday celebration becomes a contentious issue. Accounts vary on the method by which Camilla's name was excised from the guest list, depending upon whether the information is conveyed by a discreet aide, a distant cousin, or a royal observer. In a frequently narrated version, Louis is seen meticulously assembling his list of invitees, including school friends from Lambrook, relatives from both sides of his family, and a select few godparents of significant importance to him. It is said that Louis shook his head when the suggestion of Granny Camilla was made, with some attributing the proposal to Catherine and others to a babysitter. In the narrative, he replied with a candor characteristic of youth, "She is not my grandmother." The alternate rendition of the tale, which was more theatrical, elaborated further. Louis declined to invite the Queen consort and asked that her teenage granddaughter refrain from attending the celebration. He said that it should be a close family occasion. Adults outside the monarchy may see such declarations as harmless. Children thrive on routine. Louis sees his grandparents in Middleton regularly, although the king and queen often miss these trips owing to engagements, state affairs, and royal obligations. Child psychology experts assert that it is quite typical for a 7-year-old to develop a profound relationship with his grandparents, who aid him with his academic endeavors, erect tents in the yard, and provide cookies in the kitchen. However, inside the restricted confines of Buckingham Palace, a child's tastes may easily get ensnared in a political quagmire. Did Louis's rejection indicate underlying tensions between the Wales residents and the king's family, or was it only a reflection of their familiarity with one another? The specter of Princess Diana prompts royal analysts to ascribe every disturbance within William's household to his parents' broken marriage. As the woman whom Prince Charles adored throughout his marriage to Diana, Camilla will always occupy a position of discomfort for many individuals in the United Kingdom. William has long accepted his father's happiness. However, he remains very protective of his mother's heritage. Acquaintances assert that he is resolute in guaranteeing that his youngsters possess a distinct and vivid memory of Diana. Photographs, narratives, and annual visits to the grave in Althorpe acquaint his children with Diana. From William's viewpoint, Camilla's choice to attire herself as a grandma may complicate their emotional bond. An analyst said, "He delineated that boundary long ago. He delineated that boundary not out of spite, but to ensure Diana's continued inclusion in his children's narrative." In this context, Louis's purported statement, if indeed made, elicits vibrations that go far beyond a typical family dispute. William and Catherine seem to have conveyed their nuanced distinctions regarding their domestic duties to their children. Both the Prince of Wales and the Princess of Wales disfavor palace drama. They are inherently conciliatory. They promote a modern parenting style that emphasizes acknowledging and validating a child's feelings while avoiding the imposition of undesirable attachments. If Louis had opposed Camilla's presence, William and Catherine could have concluded that a 7th birthday celebration was not worth the conflict. Was it a failed effort at matchmaking? Camilla's jest about Louis marrying one of her grandkids in adulthood twists the narrative. Numerous individuals familiar with the account see it as a jest, a whimsical vision of a grandma aimed at unifying her vast family. Upon presenting the declaration to Kensington Palace, William exhibited agitation and saw it as an overreach. Given that the chronicles of royal history are filled with unsuccessful dynastic unions, William would be satisfied only if his child's romantic future is predetermined before the lad has even learned his multiplication tables. Rumor producers swiftly integrated the Queen's comment, whether it was an amicable jest or an inadvertent blunder, into the discourse on the ongoing birthday celebration. It is conjectured that Camilla aims to integrate her heritage into the Windsor dynasty, while Louis's choice to exclude her from the celebration serves as a subtle act of retribution from William. Camilla's associates choose to dismiss the concept, despite its intriguing and cinematic qualities. A reliable friend said, "She would never contemplate scheming regarding the future of children. She cherishes Charles's grandchildren and loves her own. Yet she recognizes that the Wales children will profoundly influence their lives." Factors pertaining to Middleton. This familial composition also includes the Middletons, a family of long standing. Carol and Michael provide a consistent, affectionate contrast to the opulent formality of royal life, having effectively become honorary royals in the public perception. They have become the public's preferred royal pair. Their active involvement, including school runs, sleepovers in Bucklebury, and summer holidays on the Cornish coast, has provided George, Charlotte, and Louis with a nurturing and inviting sanctuary due to their dedication. During a Christmas carol service in December of the previous year, Louis publicly conveyed his gratitude to Granny and Grandpa by attaching a handwritten letter of appreciation to a kindness tree. Numerous individuals noted that the message specifically referenced the Middletons, rather than the King and Queen, thereby reinforcing their established perceptions of Louis's emotional essence. Though entirely innocuous, The gesture may have wounded Camilla's dignity. She grinned cynically while seeing the clip, remarking that all grandparents must sometimes yield to those who reside nearest for the sake of their grandkids. Nonetheless, even little disappointment may persist, and it takes little creativity for rumor mills to fabricate a narrative suggesting that Lewis's Christmas card alluded to the impending arrival of an undesirable step-grandmother in the spring. Public responses, the convergence of monarchy and meme culture, the uproar on social media after the alleged birthday neglect highlights the swift transition of modern audiences between affection and skepticism. Within hours, animated GIF memes featuring a cartoon surfaced. TikToks include popular soundtracks where fans reenact the purported incident of Louis rejecting the Queen's proposal. Louis lowering a drawbridge to greet Granny Carol as Queen Camilla stands outside the moat, and King Louis lowering the drawbridge for Granny Carol. Numerous onlookers commended Louis for resembling a young version of his late grandmother, Diana. People criticized William and Catherine for not instilling in their son the importance of showing respect towards others. Royal commentators offered a more measured viewpoint. A seasoned journalist noted that Camilla's absence from a guest list does not ensure her banishment. An individual highlighted to the audience that King Charles and Camilla have their own familial obligations, which frequently exclude their attendance at children's festivities that coincide with other commitments. Amidst the turmoil, the king dedicated the morning of Louis's birthday to visiting environmental innovators in Glasgow, while Camilla participated in a primary school reading initiative. We reserved both of these events some months beforehand. Could you please share the last time you declined an invitation to a gathering? Due to the absence of confirmation from any families, the truth remains ambiguous. Examination of Charles's dilemma. If true tension exists, King Charles is the most confused by it. He is inherently conciliatory and compassionate, and he adores his grandchild. Lewis designates him as Grandpa Wales, and many sources indicate that he is enchanted with his garden at Highgrove. Charles loves his wife, who has helped him stay calm and has been with him through their marriage. The prospect of their disagreement would be agonizing for him. Experienced royal observers predict that the king will invite William, Catherine, and their children to enjoy a relaxed weekend in Sandringham or Balmoral this summer. Camilla will be present, facilitating Louis and the Queen's opportunity to connect via picnics and equestrian activities away from public scrutiny. Over the years, this kind of discreet diplomacy, carried out on a family estate, has facilitated the resolution of several divisions in Windsor. The monarchy seeks to acquire insights from contemporary eras. Upon the removal of the embellishments, the fundamental issue appears to be very straightforward: a blended family endeavoring to navigate the complexities of their relationships. Step-grandparents uncertain of their designation and children forming relationships that defy conventional designations exemplify the complexities navigated by millions in Britain. The symbolic significance of the monarchy directly contributes to the elevation of the Wales-Camilla event to headline status. Every minute movement signifies a portent, and each facial expression serves as an indication of potential continuity or catastrophe. William and Catherine must engage in the intricate practice of balance. They must cultivate a feeling of stability in their children while also providing support to their father and stepmother, whom they evidently love. Furthermore, they carry the weight of Diana's memory, which has a prominent place among those who valued her love. The Prince and Princess of Wales are certain in their commitment to transparency and candor. If Louis is uncertain about Camilla's occupation, they will listen to him. Nevertheless, more crucially, they will exhibit respect and civility, a lesson that surpasses royal status. Given decades of examination, Camilla seems unlikely to possess any public complaints. Acquaintances remark that she has a dry wit and a humble ego. It is suggested that she could reach out in a subtle manner, perhaps by giving Louis a gift she personally selected, writing a handwritten note, or inviting him to her resort in Wiltshire, where dogs are free to roam and children can construct dens in the woods. Camilla has discovered that the only method to cultivate connections with youngsters is via patience, shared experiences, and an inexhaustible supply of chocolate cookies. These ties do not derive from titles or decrees. The future in perspective, a considerable number of possibilities will arise for the public to interpret the royal tea leaves in the following months. A ceremonial balcony lineup for Trooping the Color is anticipated for June. Could Louis be positioned beside Camilla, both waving in synchrony as planes soar above? Conversely, would analysts of live feeds concentrate on the little space between them, scrutinizing every glance? Christmas at Sandringham may get heightened attention, for which grandparents have preferential seating during the first church walkabout. Regardless of the circumstances, the most seasoned palace watchers recommend preserving equanimity. The declarations of contemporary 7-year-olds are transient. They dissipate with the introduction of a new puppy or a ride on Grandpa's tractor. The monarchy, despite its many antique elements, has subtly integrated the realities of modern families. Within a single generation, the British royal lineage has undergone significant transformations that mirror the nation it symbolizes. These transitions include divorce, remarriage, step-siblings, and adopted in-laws from entirely private homes. Prince Louis, characterized by his cunning grin and inexhaustible vigor, is unlikely to remain a child always engaged in mischief. Upon reflection about his 7th birthday, he may simply recall the chocolate cake, the yard treasure hunt, and the thrill of staying up late to see the fireworks. Queen Camilla will undoubtedly be remembered as the kind and benevolent elder who watched his spirited activities with mirthful eyes and, when given the chance, recounted stories while seated by a crackling fire at Balmoral. Ultimately, the passage of time erases every royal drama, replacing it with more contemporary scandals and new headlines. Conversely, familial bonds evolve in a more understated fashion, shaped less by gossip and more by shared laughter, sincere apologies, and the steady accumulation of daily memories. The next family reunion, upcoming milestone, and the next fervent hug will certainly mitigate the disturbance, perhaps inadvertently recorded by a photographer's telephoto lens, caused by an event attended just by a 7-year-old. Historical evidence indicates that the next family meeting will alleviate the disturbance.
Prince Louis is still a fascinating figure in the royal realm today. From Windsor to Wollongong, audiences are enthralled by his lively charisma and unguarded facial expressions. Whether he invited Queen Camilla to his celebrations or not, his 7th birthday has already become part of royal legend. Even a child's celebration can spark a season's worth of conflict, as this episode shows, under Britain's enduring narrative of royalty and family. I am glad you watched the video. Please let me know what you think, and goodbye for now.